Hi, my name's EB and I'm the co-director of Project Pando, and today I'm going to show you how we plant our native tree seeds into our air pruning boxes. So let me first explain the box. So air pruning boxes are great because you can grow a large amount of trees in a small space and grow a nice root system. The roots don't become all pot bound like they would if you had them in plastic pots or something like that. And how it works is we build a simple 2-foot by 4-foot wooden frame, and then we attach hardware cloth to the bottom. We have a video explaining how to build these that you're welcome to watch. And then we place this box on top of a concrete box, or cinder block or bricks, anything like that will work. And so it's raised up off the ground. And what happens after we plant our tree seeds is they sprout and send a taproot down, and then they push through that hardware cloth and they feel air. And they know they can't grow into air, so they prune themselves. And instead of continuing to grow that taproot and wrapping all in with the other trees, they grow these fine lateral feeder roots. And that is how you can grow a lot of trees in a small space. Here we just have a riser, which is a simple frame without the hardware cloth, which just gives us more soil volume. And when you're taking the trees out, after they've been growing in here for a year or two, the riser makes that process a little easier. So once you have your box all set up, you want to fill it with soil. Different potting substrates will work. We use pure leaf mold. So this is just leaves that have been collected and put in a pile, and they sit for 2 to 3 years, and they break down into this nice compost basically, which works well for germinating the seeds and having them grow for a year or two. So you fill your box up. We recommend compressing the soil pretty firmly because this stuff will sink a lot throughout the growing season if you don't. And so once that's all full, you choose which seed you want to plant in your box, and we put a metal tag which gives the box a number, and another tag which tells us which tree seed we've planted in there, so we know. If you have a lot of one seed, you can just plant the entire box with one type of tree. But if you don't, you can take half the box and plant one species, the other half and plant a different species. But today we're going to plant mockernut hickory, and we collect these seeds with volunteers, so we get a lot of seeds, especially your more common trees like hickory. So what we'll do with hickory is just get the weight of the seed. We don't individually count them, so this is 2.2 kilograms, and we'll just layer them out in a pretty thick layer, and because we want them to be dense. If we're working with a more rare species, we might spread them out a little more to give each seed its space. But when we have a lot of seeds, we'd rather plant them densely so we can get a lot of trees, and just so we can utilize this space to its fullest. So let me show you how we plant these mockernut hickories. So it's pretty simple. We just open up our bag, and we evenly space them, roughly of course, throughout the box. Again, with this seed, we don't have to be exact. Once we get the bag dumped out, you just sort of eyeball the spacing a bit, and this will be fine. Now, tree seeds like to be buried about as deep as they are large. So if you have a really small seed, you want to just put a fine layer of leaf mold on top. But if you have a larger seed, like this hickory seed, you can go much deeper. You can go probably about 1 inch of leaf mold on top, especially since leaf mold will settle pretty readily, like I talked about. So after your first or second rain, come out and check the box and see how much that leaf mold has dropped. But again, this is what you're looking for. Nice, evenly spaced hickory nuts. So once you get your seeds covered with leaf mold or whatever potting substrate you're using, I like to add a little bit of mulch on top. I'm just using arborist wood chips here for that. You wouldn't want to mulch every type of tree seed. If your seeds are very small and delicate, the mulch can smother them. But since we planted mockernut hickory in here, I will put just a thin layer of arborist chips on there. Again, you don't want to smother it, but a thin layer will help it retain some more moisture and will just be good for the tree in general. So the final step is to put a cage on top of these. You're mainly using the cage to protect these from squirrels and deer, if you have squirrels and deer in your area. The squirrels, especially since we planted mockernut hickory here, the squirrels are going to find those and eat them unless you protect them with a cage. And even if it's not a nut or something that the squirrels really want, we find that since this is just a freshly planted box, they'll come in here and they'll dig and they'll try to hide acorns or other things that they've collected into your box. So we recommend caging if you have a lot of squirrels. And they're 2 foot tall, so it will protect them from deer if you have deer in your area too. So let me put the cage on. And this is just a simple PVC cage with chicken wire wrapped on it. We have a video that'll show you how to make these, but that'll just sit on there. And now your seeds have been planted and they're protected. They'll sit there all winter, and come spring, they'll germinate and you can start to watch your baby trees grow.